Welcome to the Whirlpool Indoor Maps application. Whirlpool Indoor Maps is brought to you by the Whirlpool Corporation in association with the Computer Science Capstone Experience at Michigan State University. Whirlpool is the #1 major appliance manufacturer in the world. With an ever-growing community of employees and an expanding campus to support them, the Whirlpool team has been tasked with improving the work lives of these employees by easing a few of their daily struggles. Currently, Whirlpool employs over 100,000 people across 70 manufacturing and technology resource centers worldwide. Their employees frequently have to travel between buildings for meetings and conferences. As such, it is easy to imagine how difficult it might be to locate the exact room they need to get to. Our team has been tasked to help Whirlpool employees navigate through unfamiliar buildings, making the process of finding a meeting or destination simple. An essential feature was the ability for newly constructed buildings to be added to the application. We partnered with an ArcGIS specialist from Michigan State University to convert blueprints into a format that allowed us to draw indoor maps. A website was created to allow these newly mapped building files to be added to the Google Data Store. Google Data Store lies on our Google App Engine project, allowing easy access to Whirlpool building information. We leverage these resources to create an iOS and Android application. The application combines the user's Google Calendar information with interactive maps of Whirlpool buildings. Each building map will be cached locally on the mobile device within a SQLite database, providing fast loading time. While visiting the Riverview campus, we interviewed some Whirlpool employees. We asked them about any potential difficulties they may have experienced while attempting to find conference rooms or cubicles.
I'm a GIS analyst, a project manager in our go-to-market group in e-commerce. In our work with the websites, I have to go meet with a lot of different people, and honestly, finding where they sit is pretty difficult. We have to give directions a lot of the times based on landmarks, so hey, I'm on the second floor of C building, right side of the kitchen, go 3 rows deep, and then my cubicle's there.
I'm Rachel LeDuc. I'm the assistant brand manager on Maytag Laundry. Yeah, my meetings are in the Riverview building where we are now, but every so often I do have a meeting in other buildings, and since I don't go there very often, I don't ever know where to go. It takes a lot of time out of my day when there's already back-to-back meetings, so when I'm already running probably a little late, it makes me even later. So I waste a lot of time wandering and asking questions and probably disrupting people because I'm confused.
I'm Jim Keena. I'm a GIS analyst on our e-commerce team. I do project management for our websites. When I go to GHQ, I have no idea what anything is. I ask the receptionist and I get a long list of directions that I forget halfway through, so gotta ask somebody else.
I'm Chandler Smith. I am the assistant brand manager for Maytag Kitchen, overseeing refrigeration and dish, and I work at Whirlpool. I don't usually have trouble figuring out where things are in the building that I work in, because it's a pretty number-based system. It's a logic to where things are. But when I go to other buildings, I have a lot of trouble finding where things are because I don't know that same nomenclature in the other buildings at Whirlpool. So a lot of times I'm late to meetings at other buildings because I don't know where they are.
Let's now take a look at a use case of the application with Dan. When Dan opens the application, he is presented with the Google login screen. Once he has entered his Whirlpool account credentials, the application requests permission to access his location and his Google Calendar. After accepting these permissions, Dan is taken to the home page of the app, which displays his calendar events for the next 24 hours. This page also displays buttons corresponding to each Whirlpool building, which would take Dan directly to the maps of these buildings. Dan is not currently interested in this feature though. Instead, he is observing his meetings for the day. As you can see, Dan has a meeting with Joe at 8 this morning in the Riverview building. which is a facility that he's not familiar with. By sliding this event to the left, Dan is presented with options to edit or delete the event. More importantly, he can choose to navigate to this room. Now that Dan has arrived at the Riverview campus, he brings up the navigation screen. From this screen, Dan can see his approximate location, as well as the location of his meeting. By selecting the numbers on the right-hand side of the screen, Dan can display the different floors of the building. This allows him to explore the map of the building and familiarize himself with its general layout. Now, Dan is going to choose to get directions to his meeting. He first moves the pin representing his starting point to his desired location. As he moves the pin, he can see the distance between the starting location and the meeting room displayed at the top of the screen. Once Dan hits the Go button, the application calculates the best route to the meeting room. This route is then drawn on the map. The application displays a message at the top of the screen asking Dan whether or not he has reached the 4th floor. Once Dan clicks yes, the application automatically switches floors and draws the rest of the path. Now, Dan needs to create a Google Calendar event for a lunch meeting with his boss. Dan adds an event by hitting the plus button at the bottom of the home screen. He then adds details to the event, such as an event title, its start and end time, its location, as well as any additional notes. Once he has finished editing the event, he hits the plus button at the top to add the event to his calendar. The event can now be seen right on the home screen, which has updated his events for the day. The application also allows you to search through the rooms, which are filtered by building. Dan is interested in booking a room for a meeting with his colleagues. He selects the Riverview filter, which then displays a list of all of the rooms within Riverview that he can book. Dan chooses B224 as his desired conference room. After a brief loading period, the app then displays the room page. This page displays information about the room in question, including its capacity and any amenities that it may have, such as the presence of a whiteboard, monitor, phone, and television. Dan sees that the room capacity for B224 is only 6, and decides that he needs a larger room to accommodate all of his colleagues. He then selects a larger room from the map, which has a capacity of 16. This room has a polycom and television, and also happens to be near both the elevators and the stairs, making it easy for his colleagues to find. Dan favorites this room by clicking on the heart button. This way, he can easily access this room page later on without having to go through the process of searching for it. Dan then clicks on the calendar button, bringing up the room booking page. This page is very similar to the event creation page. Dan enters in an event title and chooses a time range to book the room for. Since Dan favorited the room, he can quickly access its room page straight from the homepage.